Hello subscribers, here is another review, and this time we'll be taking a look at the Allosaurus Assault figure that Hasbro released for their 2013 Jurassic Park toy line. Now, like I've said many times before, this was my number one most sought after figure I've ever wanted. So I've been wanting this since 2013, but sadly I just never got around to, buy it around that time. And now, he's finally in my hands. Now, many people have said this when they reviewed this figure, and I'll just say it again. Yeah, of course, Hasbro could have gave us something like this for their Jurassic World 2015 toy line. Of course, they chose to give us those extremely underwhelming figures. But, of course, the guy who sculpted this, Hasbro fired him, so that's why they didn't have any toys like this. But, let's get on to the review. So, the main thing that people really like about this figure is the detailing. Now, as you can see, unlike some Mattel Jurassic World dinosaurs, like where some parts are really detailed, but then like the sculpt kind of gets smoothed out in some areas, like there's detail all over the figure. See, going down, the head to the tail, you can see all the tiny little pebble-like scales, and then even the underbelly. See, got larger scales right here. See, even the underside of the feet as well. Then you got tiny scales on his iguana-like dewlap. So you got the arms right there, and then the legs right here, which look like fish scales. See, here's the detailing on the other side, and here's the top. You got all these iguana-like spikes going down his back. So yeah, that's about it for the detailing. Now, before Mattel released their superposable and grab and growl Indoraptor figures, this Allosaurus was one of the most, if not the most, articulated Jurassic Park toy. So as you can see, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 points of articulation. So, see, the head, the arms, and the ankles are all on a ball joint, which allows for more posability. Also, the arm right here is tied to an action feature, which is head thrashing action feature. See, you move the arm up and down, and then he swings his head. It doesn't really work that well for mines right here. I mean, it kind of works, but it seems to, when I hold the figure like this, the head thrashing action seems to function better. But most of the time, I just forget, that the action feature exists. I mostly bought this figure for, the amazing sculpt and detail and the colors. Speaking of the colors, let's take a look at that. So as you can see, the main colors of this figure is like a dark teal blue, I think, and then you got the underbelly is like a creamy beige color, as well as these patternings right here, and then you got brownish orange right here that goes down to the base of the tail, and also that's around the white patternings. Now, I know this paint job is very bizarre and crazy, but at least it looks good. Unlike the Hasbro Jurassic World Spinosaurus and Allosaurus, which have crazy paint jobs, but it just didn't look good because the choices of colors especially. But see, I think all the colors work well here. So yeah, that's about it for the color scheme. Now, this Allosaurus is one of the most aesthetically pleasing dinosaur figures I've ever seen. As you can see, the proportions on this figure are near perfect. Basically, everywhere in the figure is packed with detail, and it has, a bizarre but awesome color scheme. Now, people are saying that this figure looks similar to the Papo Allosaurus, which it does. So here's the Papo Allosaurus. You can see the similarities with the figure right here, especially the shape of the skull, and then most notably the iguana-like spines going down. But at least the sculptor didn't completely copy the Papo Allosaurus. It's just using inspiration. It's always nice to use someone else's work for inspiration. So yeah, that's a small little comparison. Speaking of the comparisons, let's get into that right now. Here we have the Hasbro Jurassic World Allosaurus, and basically, a detailed paint job. Basically, this figure in every category easily stumps this one right here. Next up, let's bring in the Mattel Roarvor's Allosaurus. And this toy is decent. It's not really my favorite Mattel Jurassic World dinosaur. But, this toy is far better than this one right here. Next, let's bring in Mattel Dino Rivals Allosaurus, the dual attack figure. And they're quite similar, especially, iguana-like spikes, like the Papo Allosaurus. And this one has more of a realistic paint job than this one. But I still like the colors on this one more. So, yeah, but this is still a good toy, though. Next, let's bring in two other animals that lived alongside Allosaurus in the Jurassic period. Here we have Mattel Jurassic World Ceratosaurus and Mattel Coelosaurus. See, all three of these figures have very striking paint jobs. I love the patternings on each of them. So next, let's bring in the Kenner Lost World Stegosaurus and the Mattel Action Attack Stegosaurus. I think the Allosaurus is quite in scale with these two, actually. I think Stegosaurus was substantially larger than Allosaurus. So, this would be a pretty cool battle right here. Now let's compare the Allosaurus next to one of my absolute favorite figures in my collection, the Bandai 8-inch GMK Godzilla. I think this Allosaurus is definitely another one of my favorite figures in my collection, if not my favorite. Last but not least, let's compare the Allosaurus next to the Collectae Mini Zephyctinus. Well, there you have it, guys. This is my review on the Hasbro Jurassic Park Allosaurus Assault figure. Now, this figure is my favorite Jurassic Park toy and my absolute favorite figure in my entire collection. Yep, guys, I said it. This Allosaurus is my favorite figure in my entire collection. Now, there really, with 100% honesty, there isn't a single bad thing I could say about this toy. It's just that good. See a quick spin around, and you can see how awesome this figure looks. Now, tracking this guy down was, difficult because, he was only sold at Toys R Us in 2013 for a limited amount of time. And now he's going on eBay for insane prices, even loose. So I had to pay, a pretty penny for this guy on eBay. And afterwards, I had to wait like a week for it, but the wait was worth it. So if my rating for this figure isn't obvious, it's a solid 10 out of 10. Easy 10 out of 10. So, if you guys like this review, leave a comment, like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.